you've never been here before, we're doing 30, 45-ish minutes of live side split stretching, and we do this every single day to practice consistency, hopefully to build a little bit of community, because I'm here all the time, you're here all the time, and we can make a little bit of progress towards our side splits together, because it's a lot easier to do hard things when you're doing it with other people, especially when you enjoy other people. I hope you have fun. All right, let's get into the side split stretches. The first thing that we're going to do is warm up, and I don't expect you to have any, previous warm up stuff before coming in. So we start pretty gentle, okay? The first thing that we're going to do is called hip cars. Hip cars are spelled C-A-R, and they stand for controlled articulated rotations. And what we're going to do is move our leg and our hip through their full range of motion using just our muscle power. All right. So they look a little bit like this. We're going to lift our knee as high as possible. We're going to open up that hip directly to the side. Keep that knee lifted as high as we can. We're going to rotate that leg over. I'm going to spin around so you can see what it looks like from the side. We're going to try and keep the knee and the ankle as high as possible. You're going to feel these muscles tense real hard. We're going to bring the leg down and back right here. The knee is coming back. We want to feel the hamstrings flexing, the glutes flexing, and we want to feel the stretch in the back, or sorry, in the front of the hip flexor. All right. That is one rep of the hip car going forward. We're going to do 10 more of these on the left side, 10 more on the right side. Then we're going to reverse it, do 10 on the left, 10 on the right. Let's get started. Make sure to grab something for balance if you need it. I might occasionally turn around and put my hand over here to do that. All right, let's go. High knee, open, ankle, down and back. 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 I think that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Whew. Super good. We're 25% done. Let's get ready to go do the other side. If you're just joining in and have no idea what we're doing, hip cars look like this. High knee, open up the hip, point that knee directly to the side, lift the knee, keep it high, rotate the leg so that the ankle and the knee are both as high as possible. Feel the strain from holding it up. Then bring the leg down and back so that the knee is behind the standing leg. And you're feeling that stretch in the hip flexor. Flex the glutes, flex the hamstrings. All right, that is 1. But we're going to do 10 more. Let's go. High knee, open, ankle, down and back. High knee, open, ankle, down and back. Focus on really trying to lift the leg up to its highest possible position for you. It's going to be different for everybody. And over time, we'll have done a tiny little mini workout for your hips and for those muscles so that you get a little bit stronger. And as you do more of these, your brain will figure out how to do these a little bit faster. Wow. Let's wrap these up. I think that's 7, 8, 9, and last one, 10. Whew. Okay, take a second, shake out the legs. Those are hard. Take a lot of concentration. And for some reason, I'm really tired after these. I've only done half. Okay, let's do them backwards. If you don't know what they look like, which is totally normal, okay, let's talk about that real quick. We're going to start by bringing the leg down and back. So there's a position that we ended with before. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, pull the leg back. Then we're going to lift directly to the side, and it will look like a really cool martial arts kick setup, all right? Because we're lifting the leg up. And if you actually do martial arts, maybe it actually is a kick setup, but I wouldn't know. So we'll lift that leg up, flex these hip muscles right here in the side of your hip. They gotta work pretty hard because this leg is fully extended. Then we're going to rotate so that the leg is, so the ankle is down, the knee is up. I'm going to bring that knee all the way to the front, and that is 1 rep. Oh man, the demonstrations kill me because I'm like trying to hold a position that's already hard in the hip car, but I'm trying to hold it for longer to talk about it. Okay, that's 1 rep. We're gonna do 10 more. Going backwards. Let's go. Back. Off balance. Side. Ankle. Knee. Back. Side. Ankle. Knee. That's 2. Back. Side. Ankle. Knee. Back. Side. Ankle. Knee. Back. Side. Ankle. Knee. Back. Side. Ankle. Knee. It's 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Whew. We got one last leg to do. Let's do it. No more demonstrations. We're going to just jump right into this one. Back, side, ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, knee. I think this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and finally 10. Whew, those are the hip cars. We just finished. We did 10 reps going forward on the left and right, 10 going backwards, left and right, and take a second to shake yourself out. Relax. The purpose of the hip cars is twofold. One, we want to move our hips a lot to get blood pumping, to help warm up, so when we actually do stretches, our body is a little bit prepared. We start them pretty slow, and then we pick up the speed as we go towards the end of the 10 reps, and that is to help you get a little bit warmed up. But hip cars in general are really good for building range of motion and strength in the hip. If you continue to go nice and slow and control that whole entire range of motion, all the muscles firing usually are going to be muscles that are a little bit weaker, because most of us don't train lifting our knee as high as possible and holding it there, or somewhere in between where your legs are open like so. And the stronger your hips, the stronger those muscles are, the better your hips will move. And that is a wonderful thing to be able to do, because it lets you squat down a little bit better, lets you kneel, lets you play with pets on the floor, all those good things. All right. I hope you've got a couple seconds to relax in between our warm-up exercises. We're going to get into our second warm-up exercise. It is called the elephant walk, and it looks a little bit like this. We're going to try and get into this L shape. If you're a little bit higher up, if you're a little deeper, all is good. Just work to what you are capable of. We want the hamstrings to start firing. And like I said, this is the warm-up. So you can take it nice and gentle, and we will pick up the intensity throughout little by little. All right. So for this first part, just focus on bringing your belly button down to the ground and try a little tiny bit of bouncing, just a tiny little bit. Nothing crazy. We're not going, oh, this isn't a workout. We're just trying to get our hamstrings a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more used to the idea of stretching. And if you want, you can add in little squats. Experiment with your body. Oh, we're here to take care of it, and that means you can do little things to take care of it instead of following me exactly word for word. All right. Next up, we're going to bend one knee, straighten the other leg. We're going to keep that belly button low to the ground. We're going to start switching from side to side. You should feel the hamstring almost shifting in your legs while we do this. And if you've been obsessively staring at the screen, for example, instead of at yourself, you might have noticed I'm already folded much further forward and much deeper than when we started. I was feeling real stiff when we started.
my hamstrings are still quite uncomfortable, and that's just part of the process. We train at the range that is going to get us a little bit uncomfortable because we want to push a little bit past that and get deeper into the stretch. And if we only train in the range of motion that we're comfortable in, it's going to be really hard to get deeper. All right, we're just switching, switching, and I think today we'll add a little bit extra to these elephant walks. What I want you to get from the elephant walks is not just the blood rushing to your head because you're kind of like upside down. I want your hamstrings to warm up. I want you to shift your weight from side to side. I want your feet to sort of wake up. They should be already awake because we're doing the hip cars like this and your feet were working real hard to help you balance. But we want to stay low and have a couple of seconds to move. But it's also a really great foundation for some thoracic rotation. What that means is we're going to get into that one knee bent, one leg straight position, like so. I'm going to bring the belly button down to the ground. I'm going to take one hand. Right now, my right leg is straight. I'm going to take my left hand, so the opposite hand, grab the right leg. I'm going to push against the right leg to help my chest rotate to the right. And then I'm going to open up my right arm, try to point it behind me, then focus again on that hamstring stretch. This is going to look like a yoga position. It probably is a yoga position. And then we're going to switch, come back down, and take the right hand, put it on our straight left leg, push against that left leg, open that left arm, look up at that left hand, and come back down. Just add in a couple of these. These are called thoracic rotation. And thoracic is just the upper half, upper third of your spine. And it's designed to be able to twist. We don't do any of it all day. So I'm forcing you to do some right now. It's good to have some range of motion. Might loosen up your back. And when you're really straining, trying to pull that arm back, your shoulders are working, your fingers, your arms, your upper body starts to get in on this warm up that we're doing. Okay. What do I want to do? I think I'm going to do two more. You can take your time, do as many as you want. And let me know if your back feels a little bit better. Okay, obviously, if you have an injury and twisting has been forever painful for a long time, be very, very, very gentle. Take your time. I encourage you to work on things that are slightly uncomfortable because that's how you train your brain to get slightly more comfortable with it. And I'm not a doctor, so if your back hurts, this is not my field of expertise. You got to use your own judgment on what you're going to do. Okay, we just did the second warm-up exercise. Now it's time to get into warm-up exercise number 3. What we are doing is called the Cossack switch, and it looks a little bit like this. We're going to open up our legs nice and wide, 2-3 times our hips width. We're going to try and squat down to one side. And we want to get nice and low. We want to feel this pressure in the front of the ankle. We want to feel the stretch in the calves. We want to feel the pressure in the hips. And we want to just hang out here for a little bit. While we hang out, let's talk about what we're doing with these legs. On the other side, I want you to try to get into a position where your heel is down, your toes are up, and your knee is pointing up. This is called external rotation because the leg is externally rotating to the outside of the body. And we're going to do this later for the side splits. So I'm pointing it out right now. Okay. Once you've hung out here for a little bit, let's try to get to the other side. You can use your hands to help you. Give yourself a little bit of support as you move to the other side. And we're going to hang out on this side and do the same thing. Feel that pressure in the front of the ankle. Sorry, I'm off camera. Feel the pressure in the front of the ankle. Feel that stretch in your Achilles tendon in your calves. Feel the pressure in the hips. And just sit into it. Hang out. If it's too intense for anything, any part, maybe your knees are struggling a little bit, you can always bring your knee straighter up and down and focus on folding a little bit further into that hip to get that same hip stretch, but it won't be as taxing for your knees or your ankles, okay?
Now that we have hung out in both those positions, let's add a little bit of movement. Anytime I'm not in the stretch, you can also always take a break and relax for a second. But we're going to talk about how to get into the end positions. Part of the Cossack switch is moving and switching your position from the left side to the right side. And we can do this in a whole bunch of ways. We can do a full squat, come up, come down. We can go over, keeping our butt as low as we can, just wherever we can, wherever it's comfortable. You can try to come up a little bit. You can come over to the other side, then come back down. Just depends on what your knees are feeling, what your low back is feeling. If you're feeling really strong, you can try your best to keep that back really, really straight up. Stick your hands out in front of you to help counterbalance, and you can try to go from side to side and get as low as possible and come on back. Do what's possible for you. Try your best to try harder looking things, and we're just gonna do 7, 8 reps. I aim for somewhere between 5 and 10, just depending on how comfortable and how warm you are. This is our last warm-up exercise, the last one that requires a whole bunch of movement. And so you get to pick how many you want to do. As long as you end up in this position where you're feeling the stretch in the bottom of your legs, your hips are getting a lot of pressure here, and feeling like you're giving yourself the opportunity to work on that hip mobility, then we're good. All right. All right. Let's come up. Get out of that. It's time for some stretching. We're going to get into our first stretch immediately. It is called the hamstring stretch. We're going to do it like this. We're going to drop onto one knee, stick the leg directly in front of us, and try and fold forward. So, what I recommend is you take a second to grab a piece of padding for that knee. Could be a pillow, could be a cushion, could be your pet's bed, could be a shoe or a flip flop. I'm going to go grab a cushion. I have a cushion. I hope you are also back with a cushion. But I have not been to the phone at all, so I'm going to check real quick. Lauren says, LOL. Hello, Lauren. Okay, what we got here on TikTok? Oh man, TikTok has been super busy. Welcome, everybody. I'm sorry I have not been back to the phone in a couple. Sheena's back. Welcome back, Sheena. Ganowski. Yes, we are back again. Thanks, Ganowski, for defending the sanctity of my toes. Kayla says, I gotta try this. I love it. I hope you tried it. I hope you gave it a shot. Gold LX made it back. I don't know what cracked, but I'm sure it did not break. Whoops. That is not the button I was trying to hit. Something accidental happened where I try to invite Jane to co-host because TikTok just makes this button so available while I scroll down the chat. Yeah, your hips are probably gonna do crazy things. My hips do crazy things, especially on that last hip car where we go back, side, rotate, and then around right here. Typically, I don't know if you heard that, but I just cracked. Okay, so it's normal. It happens, especially if you've done aggressive, crazy things like tried parkour once, and injured your hip at some point. It happens. It's normal. Okay. Jerome says it worked. Liked and followed. I don't know what worked, but I love that it worked, and I love that you tried it to see if it works, and it did. Okay, let's get into the hamstring stretches. I hope you have your cushions. I am just pressing and rotating this camera all over the place, so I'm gonna try not to do that. Once you've got your cushion, let's go. We're gonna do a hamstring stretch. In this hamstring stretch, we're focused on two main things. We want to keep the chest and the hips pointed directly forward, and we want to square them up so that there's a nice straight line going across your body, and that's where your hip bones are. A lot of the time, especially when you see people do front splits on the internet, when they stick one leg out in front, this hip goes flying super far forward because it makes you feel like you're accomplishing a lot in this front split. But the hip, for example, actually, I'll show you from this angle. This leg right now is pretty square because my hips are here and here, and it's right behind each other. So on the camera, you probably can't see my other hand. But if I go like this, and I try really to get as deep as possible, my hips are rotating. So now my left hip is here and my right hip is here. Now you can see both hands on the camera what is happening, right? It's totally doable. Do the hamstring stretch like this. But I recommend you not do that. Keep it square. Makes it easier to fold forward. If your leg is like way out in front and your hip is also way out in front, it's a little bit more difficult to get into the stretch position, okay? Whew. All right, talked about the hips. I'm gonna rotate now so you can follow along with me. All right, hips, chest focused forward, leg is out in front of us. We're gonna focus on our belly buttons right here. We're gonna try and bring it down and imagine touching it to the thigh. That is the goal. If you're not there, it's totally okay. We're just pushing in that direction. And I'm going to talk about the visual of belly button touching the thigh a lot. So you can use that anytime you want, anywhere else. All right, bring this. Oh, man, my hamstring got real tight real fast. Bring your belly button down to your hamstrings. As it tightens up, try your best to keep your back relatively straight. Like this is okay. You can try to open up the upper half of your back a little bit, all right? And that increases the leverage, which means it makes it feel heavier as you drop down. And it also helps you to be, how do I say this, more consistent with how you measure progress. If you focus on just bringing your head as low as possible, it's hard to tell what you're capable of doing. Any day you're feeling extra stiff in your upper back, you're going to be like, where was I yesterday? But your hips, they're only going to go so far. And your hips are connected basically right next to your belly button. So if you keep that back as straight as you can, it'll keep you nicely measured. Oh man, I don't know why I'm so out of breath today. Okay, let's get into the stretch. Hips, shoulders, fold. Hamstrings are going to tighten. Take a nice big deep breath in. Relax and exhale. And let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. We're still trying to bring the belly button down to the thigh. 15, 14, 13, and remember to breathe. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, come on up out of that hamstring stretch. Oh man, we've done so many hamstring things already, and somehow my hamstrings are still telling me, hey, let's keep doing some more of this because this still uncomfortable. All right, let's get into the other leg. I'm seeing that there are 10 new messages. I need to scroll faster. You look like my boyfriend if you were a little older. That's funny. Gold, oh no, I thought that was Gold Alex. I'm so glad I caught this live. I've needed more help with flexibility. Awesome, amazing. I'm glad you're here. We do this every single day. Amari asked, could you do it again, please? I don't know what I need to do again, but we're gonna do the other leg. So I hope that's exactly what you needed. I don't know what's going on. This earbud keeps popping out of my ear. I hope it doesn't mess up the audio too much and you just don't hear earbuds moving. All right, same thing. Trying to keep our hips in this nice
straight line. If you can see my right hand and you can't see my left hand, that is perfect. That means the left hip is, my left hip is right behind my right hip. Okay, and that's what we want. We're going to focus on bringing our shoulders square as well. So shoulders and your hips straight down. Cool. Folding at the hips, bring the belly button down towards the thigh, and we're going to start feeling that hamstring tighten up real fast. Take a nice big deep breath in. Release slowly and try to get into a deeper stretch. And once you're here, we're holding this stretch for 30 seconds, trying to bring the belly button down. We're trying to keep our back relatively straight. If you can't do it perfectly, that's totally okay. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, remember to breathe, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, we are done with the hamstring stretches. Come on up, come on out of it. If as soon as you get out of the stretch, your legs feel much better and you are able to walk around just fine, then you're doing great. You did the stretch perfectly. All right, let's continue and get into stretch number 2. It is called the butterfly, and it looks like this. We're sitting on our butts, we're pulling our feet in together, and the goal of this is to bring your knees to the ground to help open up your groin area. And this stretch is really hard to get right because, especially if you have kind of bad hamstring flexibility and you naturally want to sit backwards, it's really hard to open up your hips. It's also really hard to apply pressure to both legs at the same time. So what I recommend you do, you get to a wall, or I guess a door, anything flat and durable so you can push your back against it. Put your hips, your shoulder, your head against the wall. And once you've done that, the wall is basically supporting. It's going to be your best friend. All right? You're going to pull your feet in again. And you might notice that just because the wall is there supporting you, it's much easier to get into a stable butterfly stretch position, or at least a position where you can focus on the groin stretch a little bit better. From here, I want you to really focus on using your muscles to strengthen I want you to focus on using your muscles when we work on flexibility, because I want you to strengthen as we go. So I want you to open up using your thigh muscles, these outer thigh muscles, and your glutes, and contract them as you pull your knees down into the ground. All right? Once you have started doing that, you can then take your hands and apply a little bit of additional pressure. And you should feel a whole bunch of pressure on the back of your head or in your shoulders from your arms pushing into the wall. And that is completely normal. So don't be surprised if suddenly the back of your head is like, whoa, what's this? What's going on? That pressure is basically your body using the wall to help you push your legs down. All right, let's go. Contract those muscles. Don't forget to breathe. Push your knees down. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. Contract those glutes. Contract those quads. Not quads, outer thighs. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. Come on up. Release the legs. Give them a little flap, if you will. Once they're moving again, come on up, and we're going to move right on into third stretch, standing pancake. Whew. I'm going to come in, check the chat real quick, just to see if there's anything I need to address. And I think we are good. All right, let's keep going.
In the standing pancake, we are focusing on basically doing two things: opening up our legs nice and wide, basically to where it's almost uncomfortable. You don't have to go to the point where it is uncomfortable, but if you do get there, you can come up just a little bit. The next part is focusing on folding forward. Ooh, my hips just cracked. Ooh, okay, folding forward. This is gonna look just like the hamstring stretch we were doing earlier, or the elephant walks we were doing earlier, on camera at least. But my legs are really far wide open. And the goal is to bring our belly button and our head, this whole entire upper body chunk, down and fold in between our legs. What I just showed you is pretty much as far as I can get at the moment. Oh, hopefully I'll be able to get a little bit deeper after the stretch. But the reason why we do the standing pancake is because we want gravity to help as much as possible. When we do it this way, our whole upper body is being pulled down by gravity, and you're gonna feel it at the hips pulling us down. If you stick your arms out above you, if you hold like a water bottle here, you'll feel that stretch even more intensely. You'll feel gravity working for you. So, get into position, open up those legs, only until the point where it's almost uncomfortable, but not quite uncomfortable yet. Stick your butt out behind you, just a little bit, to help you fold forward. Once you are in position, we are good. You can make it harder, you can make it easier, you can take breaks, put your hands down. 30 seconds, let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, put those hands down. Help your legs come back together. If you did that right, you're going to feel that stretch in two places. And I'm going to talk about it so you can slowly recover from being in that position. The first place you're probably feeling it right now is these inner thighs. The job of these inner thigh muscles, these are called adductors, is to pull your leg in towards the center of your body. So anytime you do the opposite of that, try to open up your legs, the adductors are going to be really unhappy. They're going to scream at you, and they're going to be like, no, why are you doing this? This is horrible. And that's exactly what we want them to do, kind of, to an extent. The second place you're going to feel these is in the hamstrings. Surprise, surprise, we keep on talking about the hamstrings, and that's because they are so related to everything that we do. They connect sort of right below the knee and into the hip, and anytime you fold forward, doesn't matter if your legs are together or if your legs are apart, your hamstrings are going to be unhappy with you, and that is just part of the process. But that is also why we do so much for the hamstrings. We started today with elephant walks, right? Then we did the actual hamstring stretch, and now we have done some standing pancake. We know that the hamstrings are going to be needed, are required for all the things that we're doing. We'll still need them for the side split, and that's why we spent a whole bunch of time focusing on them and getting us towards the side splits. They're also really good for the front splits. You need a bunch of hamstring flexibility for that. So it's got value. It's got goods. I don't know where I'm going with this. So we're just gonna move on. Fourth stretch that we're gonna do is called the figure four stretch. And it's called the figure four because we cross the ankle across the body and it kind of looks like the number 4. The goal of this stretch is to bring this ankle up towards our chest and bring our chest down and fold so that we kind of get this angle where the chest is almost touching the leg. It doesn't actually have to touch. I'm not sure that many people can do that. So even if you could, you're like part of a super small percentage of people. Anyways, we're feeling a stretch out here in the outer side butt glute area. All right, it's really the hip butt outer side butt glute area is more visual than this part of the hip. Cool. There's two ways to get into this. We can focus on
doing it on the floor, like a pigeon stretch. That looks a little bit like this. We're bringing the leg across our bodies, and we're trying to bring our chest down over that leg. All right? As long as you feel the stretch in the hip, then you are doing it right. Your leg doesn't have to be perfect. If it's kind of out to the side because you can't get it perfectly behind you, that is fine. You can actually, if you're somebody who can do it just fine, you can actually experiment. There's not so much of a difference between the two. Straight leg is definitely a little bit more intense. You feel it slightly in a different spot, but we're like 75-80% the same. All right, that's a perfect place to be. So that's one way. If you're gonna do the pigeon, I want you to make sure you keep the ankle pushed away from you. And that's because if you're hanging out, you're moving, your ankle is going to want to tuck in towards your hips. And when it's all the way in towards your hips, you're not actually feeling the stretch anymore. All right? You can experiment with that right now to see if that's true. And while you do that, I'm going to demonstrate a second way to do this stretch called the figure 4 stretch. We're going to do these on our backs. And so we're going to have total control over the intensity of this stretch because we're going to be providing the muscle power to pull us into the stretch instead of letting gravity do the work. I know I keep on saying we want gravity to help us, but in this case, I kind of prefer the version on the back. So let's talk about it. We're going to extend the leg that we're going to stretch. We're going to cross it over, put it just below the knee. We're going to reach our arms through. We're going to pull that knee in. You should still feel that stretch in the outer hip, maybe in the very tippy tops of your hamstrings, maybe in the bottoms of your glutes where the hamstrings and the glutes meet. That's it. That's all we're doing. We're going to do this for 30 seconds. Get into position. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. We're almost done with everything. It's just the side splits that are left. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. I feel like I'm counting a little bit fast. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, switch to the other side. Take a little break if you need it. Let's get ready and reach through, fold forward, whatever you're doing for your position of choice. And let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. Remember to breathe. If you're getting too comfortable, if you feel like you're taking a nap, that's probably not the right direction. Yeah. Add some intensity there. 20, 19, 18. If you're doing the pigeon, push that ankle away, fold your chest over the leg. Imagine putting the middle of your chest into the middle point between your knee and your ankle. If you have really long bones there, it might not be totally feasible, but try your best. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, come on, out of that. We are done with everything except for the side splits. We're not done with everything, just everything before the side splits. So, congratulations, you've done a whole bunch of stretching, and it's a really good thing to be doing, taking care of your body, moving a little bit, getting comfortable. Yesterday, we had somebody say that they were having back discomfort all day, and after doing the stretches, they felt a whole bunch better. So I hope you guys are feeling, maybe, I don't wish that you have back pain or anything, but I hope that if you were a little bit uncomfortable, maybe stiff, taking some time to take care of your body to stretch out a little bit, this helped you feel a little bit better. Okay, before we do side splits, let's talk about safety just a little bit. This right here is a wall. We've become intimate friends with this wall. I want you to stand 8 to 12 inches in front of the wall, maybe one step in front of the wall. If you have really big feet, maybe 3/4 of a step in front of the wall, all right? Now,
The reason why I recommend this is because if you fall backwards and you're really close to the wall will catch you and help keep you safe. But if you stand 8 to 12 inches away, you'll still have plenty of room to work on getting into the side split position without the wall getting in your way. All right, that's it. 8 to 12 inches away from the wall, and we are ready to start. Let's get into the deepest, comfortable-ish side split position that you can get into. And once it starts getting a little bit uncomfortable right here at the hips, I want you to fold forward, put your hands down. Your hands are down, and we want to be able to almost do a push-up in this position because we want to externally rotate our legs. Externally rotating our legs is very important for the stretch because it moves the leg bone out of the way of the hip bone and lets you get into a deeper side split stretch, like I just demonstrated. What external rotation looks like is the heel is down, the toes are up, and the knees. Ooh, I don't know if you saw that. I caught it without looking. Okay. Sorry for the noise. Heels down, toes up, knees are pointing up. All right. And we want to do that on both sides. So once you are sort of in position, you're probably struggling a little bit to hold balance. You're like, wow, this is really intense. I want you to hang out here for a little bit. And if you can, walk your hands back towards your hips. A lot of this is just changing the angle of where your hips are in relation with your feet. And it's not really important. Just experiment and walk your hands back. You should feel more pressure in your legs as you bring your hands closer to your legs. And that is because more of your body weight is right over your hips. Once you are stuck and you can't move any further, I want you to try a little wiggle from side to side. See if maybe you can open up some more space. I promise the creaky sounds is my feet rubbing against the floor. I'm not just farting nonstop. Once you can't get any deeper, it's finally time to start our 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23. Remember to breathe. Don't hold your breath. 21, 20. I know this is really intense. 18, 17. That's why you have to breathe even more. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, almost there, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, lean forward. Oh, crawl if you need to. Pull your legs in from behind you and come back into standing. We need to relax and just undo what we just did to ourselves. All right. What we just did to ourselves was we got into a position where all our muscles went, stop it. We want to undo that, help them relax. And so I recommend you shake. Shake, you flop, you wobble, and just swing everything around. Primarily your legs. I know the focus often is going to look like my arms are moving a lot, but we want the legs to be loose and relaxed. If they were very, very tense and they're still holding a bunch of tension, you would be like a really weird robot dance. What we want is not a robot dance. What we want is a floppy thing. All right? I got nothing better than loose and floppy. Okay. Once your legs are starting to feel relatively normal, let's do a couple of quick checks to make sure your joints are working fine. The first thing I like to do is some hip circles and then some high knees. You don't have to do that many. It's just real quick to see if there's any discomfort, any pain. We're going to do a mini squat. So you don't have to go all the way down, but you want to make sure your knees are able to hold weight, your ankles are feeling all right, holding weight. Come up to your toes. If you want to try to work on your balance a little bit, by all means, do that. But if your toes are also working, then we're ready to get into round 2 of the side split stretch. If you've been having fun so far, if you've been entertained, if you feel like you've been stretching more intensely than you normally ever would by yourself, and you're getting real value from the live please consider following, subscribing, doing all those good things, getting notified so that you can come back and practice every day. We do this same time every single day so that we can practice consistency, both consistency for you, consistency for me, because it's way more fun to do hard things like suffering on the floor doing side splits when you got other people to do it with. All right, so hit follow, hit subscribe, keep coming back. Hope to see you tomorrow. All right, round 2, let's go. Get close to that wall, so when you fall backwards, the wall will catch you. Open up those legs nice and wide until it gets a little bit uncomfortable at the hips. Fold forward, put your hands down like you're gonna do push-ups. That's just bringing weight into your hands so it's easier to externally rotate the legs so that your heels are down, your toes are up, and your knees are pointing up. You might notice that you can actually go much deeper than last time without working as hard as last time to get deep. And that's what those loud squeaky noises, I don't know if the word should be squeaky, loud farty noises are. That's my feet sliding across the floor. Ugh. Okay. All right. Once you are as deep as you can get, you can't get any deeper. You've tried to do a little wiggle. It's time to start 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. You can add a little wiggle at any time to see if you can get a little bit deeper. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. If your elbows have been locked out and your arms have been straight this whole time, try bending them a little bit. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, come on up out of that stretch, lean forward, crawl, bring your legs in, and come back into standing. Let's do our checks. Or sorry, let's do our flopping, and then we'll do our checks. Flop, 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 flop. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Man, earbuds keep slipping out of my ear today. I don't feel like I'm flopping or wiggling more aggressively than usual. Alright, shake those legs, let them relax. Loose. The looser you are, I don't know if this is relevant for our stretching, the looser you are, the faster it is for your muscles to move. The looser you are, the more recovered you will be if you're working in between sets of a different workout. And so, as goofy as it might look, you can practice staying loose and relaxed everywhere, all the time, in between every workout. Yeah, if you make it really normal for people to be doing this, that would be awesome. I would love it. Okay, I'm gonna check the chat real quick, see if there's anything else I need to address. It doesn't look like it. Sheena had to go. She says, see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Oh, wait, maybe she was responding to what I was saying earlier. Because I think I said see you tomorrow at the end of my call to action. Tell you to subscribe. All right, I don't think there's anything to address. Let's get into round 3 of our side splits. Let's wrap up for today. And I forgot to do the checks. Let's do the checks. Hips or goals. You can go left, you can go right, you can do as many as you need to on the second round. Like right now, I'm starting to feel this hip muscle, or maybe these hip muscles, because there's a whole bunch of them all connected here, getting nice and tight. So I'm going to focus on just those 2 spots for me. Ooh, man, this right side is killer. Okay, then we're going to do some knee raises, some mini squats. Lean forward so that your heels are coming slightly up off the ground. We're not trying to go deep. We're just trying to make sure the knees can hold weight without discomfort. The ankles can hold weight without discomfort. The toes can hold weight without discomfort. Because we just put our legs through a lot of stretch, but a lot of stress in that side split position. So occasionally we just want to make sure that everything is working okay before we get right back into it and doing another round of pounding those side split muscles. All right. Get to that wall, 8 to 12 inches. And when I say 8 to 12 inches, that's just a random blanket estimate. For you, it might be a little bit different. If you want, I do recommend you take a couple of seconds to make sure that your butt can touch and you can feel comfortable in this position from wherever you are distance-wise from the wall. So that you feel super safe and secure when we do the actual side split stretches, right? Open up those legs nice and wide and fold forward. Put your hands down. Externally rotate the legs so that your heels are down, your toes are up, and your knees are pointing up. And get deeper into that stretch. Walk your hands back towards your hips. Do a little bit of a wiggle from side to side to see if you can break that last bit of friction holding you back from a deeper side split. And once you cannot get deeper, let's go. 30 seconds. Last one. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, almost done, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, lean forward, come back into those hands, work on those push-up muscles, bring your legs in, and come back into standing. Last little bit of checks. Loosen up first. Flop, 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 flop. It might take you a couple seconds longer than the previous couple of times to get into your shaking and flopping and wiggling. And you should take it anyway. Because this is the fastest way, I believe, to recover after a stretch. Is to just make sure your muscles are all relaxed. And you can visually tell you're relaxed when your arms and legs are just flopping all over the place. All right, once that's done, once you're feeling relatively normal for somebody who's just spent a whole bunch of time stretching, let's do our hip circles. High knees. Mini squats. Make sure you put a little bit of pressure into your knees, put a pressure into those ankles, come up onto your toes just a little bit. Make sure all those things are working. We're not here to do reps, we're just here to check that they feel all right, they feel good even. And once you've confirmed all those things, then we are officially done. Oh, we've been running for about 53 minutes, so I hope you've had plenty of time to get comfortable, enjoy the stretches, enjoy the warm-up. I hope you had fun. Ganasti said, another great session. Thank you. And Lulu Mima has tagged herself. Okay. Okay. That's it. I hope you had fun. I hope you were encouraged to get some stretching done. I hope you learned something useful that you can take away for your regular, otherwise not on live stream life. And I hope you feel proud of yourself because you just did a whole bunch of minutes of exercise. If you've been here since the beginning, it's been 50 something minutes. If you've been here somewhere since the middle, then you've done somewhere since the middle minutes. And that's amazing. That's great because some random dude on the internet helped you get a little bit more exercise. And that's fantastic. All right. What am I going to say now? Follow, subscribe, get notified, keep coming back. We're trying to have a good time. We're trying to help people do hard things like stretching on the floor. And if that's interesting to you, if that's something you want to do more of, then come back. We do the same time every single day, both for me and for you, to help us practice consistency, help us do hard things. And hopefully with enough people coming back, we can build a real community around doing side splits or in general doing hard stuff. All right. A lot of people are coming back really regularly, like Lulu, Gold, LX, Ganowski, and I appreciate that. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this. Okay. Dana says, can you do posture on upper back? Posture on upper back. So one of the things about posture that I think is hard is posture is sort of the result of how you spend most of your time. And it is really difficult to undo the things that you do all the time with 10 minutes of exercise. As much as the rest of the internet will promise you, really, really fast results, um, posture is one of those things that is difficult because it comes from hours and hours and hours of doing all the other things you really want to do in your life, right? Like one of the things that is coming back in full force is this neck situation, and occasionally I have it where you're staring at your phone a lot, right? And your phone is down here. If you spend a lot of time with your neck in this position, it's going to be really hard to undo the time that you're investing into this position, right? Like we just spent 50 something odd minutes doing some side split stretches, and half that time was rest in between things to make sure that we're prepared to make the most of the next 10, 20, 30 seconds. Um, so what am I saying? I'm saying next time you start scrolling your phone, maybe you should scroll like this to help you keep your neck straight up. I'm mostly kidding, but like I'm kind of actually, I sort of mean it, but maybe not actually in this particular way of holding your phone up into the sky, walking around scrolling the streets. But maybe that would make people more traffic aware when crossing roads. Um, Posture is hard because it is trying to use a couple minutes of exercise to fight against the things that you're doing all day long, right? And those things aren't your fault by any means, right? Like if you have an office job and you sit down at a desk and you're sitting in front of the computer, it's totally normal for you to start slouching forward. And that is just the natural position that makes sense for the thing that you're doing, right? Because your body is going to adjust to help you be comfortable for what you're doing. And in this case, just sitting in front of the desk, why is it going to fire all these muscles and make you really uncomfortable and tire out your back muscles for absolutely no good reason? And that is to say, your posture is probably the result of the things that you are doing. And it's really good to strengthen the muscles that you want to strengthen so that you can have nicer posture. So let's talk about the quick exercises. But now that I've warned you about the real reason why you're having posture issues, let's actually talk about different things that you can do to make it a little bit better. A lot of posture comes from actually let me rephrase this. There's two main places where I think people can be much better about controlling their strength. And I don't know exactly what you are most worried about, but a really good skill that everybody should have, because that will make you feel stronger in your exercises, that will help you have a better posture, is flexing your butt. All right, flexing your butt sounds a little bit weird, because why are you flexing your butt? But if you flex your butt and you tuck it in a little bit, so for example, this is me relaxed. If you flex your butt and you tuck it in a little bit, it will shift your whole pelvis forward. And what that's good for is it puts a little bit less pressure in your low back, right? If you were really into twerking, you might know about this position where you might be feeling a lot of pressure in the low back because of the way your body is trying to support your body weight, right? If you have this going on, I'm exaggerating, obviously, but maybe this is normal for some people. Instagram models might tell you that's normal. Um, when you do this, your whole back is putting pressure right into a couple of bones in your low back. And this is going to cause a lot of low back discomfort over time. It's not the only way low back discomfort happens, but this could be one of the ways that low back discomfort happens. So an easy way to undo this is to flex the glutes and tuck them in. Even though my knees are still bent, I can do that, right? If this is something that you're having trouble with, even if it's just a little bit, maybe it's that you haven't noticed it, just try tuck in your butt, flex it, and see if your low back suddenly feels a little bit better. This position is something that you will encounter in other like forms of exercise. For example, if you're doing what is that called? When you if you do Pilates, for example, and
you're on your back and you're doing like a tabletop position, something like this. My form might not be perfect. I'm not super good with like exact Pilates form, but if you get into this position, an instructor might tell you make sure your low back is touching the ground, right? Shifting your hips forward, flexing those glutes, in this case, pulling your abs in a little bit more is going to help you get into that position. And if we were to do a more advanced exercise, like the ones where you extend your legs and you want to keep your hips down, you're contracting the core and you're going to feel the core contracting. But if you also flex the glutes and help to tilt the pelvis a little bit, you can use both sets of muscles to help get into that nice strong form that Pilates is trying to teach you and force you into. All right. So that is one thing that you can tweak that could adjust a whole bunch of other things, right? Because at the end of the day, your back is made of like, I actually have no idea how many different muscles or how many different bones there are in the back, but your back is designed to move forward and back, right? So if you fix something right at the base of the spine, it'll help you adjust the rest of your body a little bit more naturally, right? And here, your glutes, your abs are really big muscles. So it's much easier for you to keep those contracted compared to if you're trying to open up your chest and have your shoulders back compared to doing something like this. You still need to do probably something like this, but having the right base to do it on top of makes it much more reliable to hold the upper back positions. Typically, if you are worried about posture in front of a desk, it typically looks a little bit like this, right? Your shoulders are rounding, your head might be tilting a little bit down, and it looks a little bit like this. If we're in a chair, imagine I'm seated in a chair, it might look something like that. What's going on is your shoulder blades are moving off to the side and just hanging out like this. To counter that, I don't even know if you could see what I was doing. Your shoulder blades, instead of being tight in here to help keep your chest upright, I'm exaggerating, this is like way too upright. Your shoulder blades are hanging out way out to the sides. And so one of the things that you can work on is one really basic thing you can work on is pull-ups. Lots and lots and lots of pull-ups. If you do pull-ups well, they strengthen your shoulder blades and they strengthen all the little muscles in your upper back, and that helps you to have slightly better posture, or at least with all that extra strength in your back, it'll be easier for you to maintain good posture. You'll still probably have to think about it, because once you get seated into this position long enough, you'll want to go back to the most comfortable position, right? When you're doing splits for 30 seconds on the floor, and over the course of 30 seconds of you putting pressure into that position, your legs open up. So it's going to be really hard to counter your brain just going, oh, we can chill here if you've been sitting there for 3 hours. I'm not trying to demonize sitting. I'm just trying to point out that that is your normal, and your body is going to try its best to adjust to your normal. And everybody's got it. Oop. TikTok is giving me a puzzle to prove that I'm a real person going live, and I just finished that puzzle, so I'm going to come back and double check if there's anything else I need to respond to. Goddess says, butterfly against the wall was perfect. I've never had that good of a stretch in that position. Yes, I'm so happy. The butterfly is one of those stretches where everybody seems to do them, especially runners, and then I always thought for the longest time, I was like, why do we bother doing anything here? Like, I can't even get into the stretch. Butterfly against the wall just fixes all of the problems of that stretch. So if you feel tempted to go into the middle of a park, have a nice run or walk or something, and you're like, I want to do a butterfly stretch because I feel like I'm supposed to do it, know that if you just go home and you try it there, it might be like 10 times more effective. All right. Charles Darcy says same. Gold Alex gives a nice crying smiley emoji. Ganowski says she's excited to practice with Pilates. And I think that is it. We have 8 people on live. I hope I answered the. Actually, I have one more thing for the posture situation. Posture question.
I recommend you do dead hangs for a long time. It's part of what I said, get really good at pull-ups, do a lot of pull-ups, work on those back muscles to help undo the rounding of the back. Because those back muscles, when they flex together, you don't have to get into a full bodybuilder like situation, right? It's not important if you don't want to do that. But maybe you're gonna do a lot of pull-ups and you're like, ooh, I like these muscles. And then maybe you want to be a bodybuilder for just your upper back. That's so totally okay too. Um, Here's me hedging my statements about bodybuilders. Okay, once you have a much stronger back, it will be easier for you to hold positions and to hold tension in that back, and that will help you to have the posture that you are hopefully looking forward to. If I'm way off base and going the wrong direction, you should have let me know a couple of minutes ago, but it's totally possible you're already offline and I am just talking to everybody else. Cool. Nick says, "Bro, I have doubt on YouTube." Oh, Dana says I'm still here. Oh, lovely. Okay. Does that help? Have you tried any of those things? That was a pretty good shot attempting to talk about posture. I think. I hope. Dana says, "Thank you for explaining this." No, I haven't. Okay. I opened with kind of like a sort of a pessimistic vibe about if this is what you're doing all the time, it's hard for you to change out of it. And I don't want you to interpret that as pessimism and feel hopeless. I want you to interpret that as an opportunity to try to be in different positions and try a little bit of variety in your life, right? Like relying on one exercise or two exercises to change your body and to fight against something that you're doing for 5, 6, 8, 10 hours a day is really, really hard. Thoughtful, intentional exercise can have a lot of benefits, but it is hard to undo 10 hours of anti that, right? So don't take that as an excuse to not do the work. Take this as expect it to take time and that you've invested, I don't know, a decade sitting in chairs minimum. I hope it doesn't take 10 years to undo it, but like one thing you've done for 10 years and slowly caused you to change in a direction that you don't like, to go and do something else to cause that change to almost reverse itself in just appearance, right? Like your back getting a lot stronger to help counter the intent to slouch that your body is just relaxing into. It's very different than if you built up your chest and only your chest for 10 years and then now you're like, I want my chest to stop being really strong. I want my back to be really strong. I'm gonna counter that and build it up. Those are two completely different things and have absolutely nothing to do with each other. All I'm saying is it's gonna take time. You should definitely, if you care about it, spend the time to undo it. And I think the two main places where you can really invest your time is the foundation of the spine, which is right here at the hips, which, like we talked about, is flexing the butt, tucking it in, helping to have a nice strong posture here, flexing your abs a little bit, like not trying to like show off all the time, like, but just a gentle flex to hold your hips in a nice position. If you have a little bit of low back discomfort, you might immediately notice that there's a little bit of a different sensation and relief. And we're going to flex, we're going to work extra hard to get into the counter position, the opposite position, because we want to hopefully hold some of that tension and have better posture here. Um, so we have that. And then the top thing with the back, dead hangs, which means just hang from a pull-up bar and contracting your shoulder blades, whether it's front to back or top to down. I think those two pieces will do a whole bunch for your posture. Dana says, I'm doing a lot of stretching and working on lower back because of babysitting. You are right. My therapist told me to work on lower self, like the Pilates you explained. Good. That means you've got information from more sources than just me. That makes me feel good. I mean, not because I want you to be reliant on me ever, but because you're getting input and advice from other people who are experts, and that's always a good sign. Okay, that's it from me. I don't think there's anything else I need to address in the chat, but I think, oh, actually, no, there's something on YouTube. Let's see. Tanish with the Q. Bonsall says, do you do lunge exercises? Do you know exercises for the leg? Yes, let's talk about that. If you want to do leg strengthening exercises, I think for the majority of people, you never have to go to a gym. You can get more than strong enough for your, I mean, let's be real, 95% of the population never goes to the gym and they can operate through life just fine. And yeah, they could benefit from a little bit more strength, maybe being able to jump a little bit higher, maybe moving a little bit more explosively, a little bit faster when some kid is rolling by on a bike would be helpful. But most people are okay, right? And they're just walking through the streets being normal people. So if you get twice as strong as that person, you're doing really, really good. All right. So you are entirely capable of getting at least twice as strong as you currently are in your legs. And that is because we can do single leg exercises. It's not perfectly uh, twice as strong, but it's pretty close. You can just ignore one leg, right? If you can squat all the way down with one leg, then that one leg is getting really strong. It also requires you to have really good hip mobility, requires you to have really good ankle mobility. So it's a really good end goal to get into. So let's talk about different leg exercises. If you care mostly about big muscles, then that is going to be a little bit different than moving super well because you can focus on a couple fewer exercises. The big ones are squats, right? They generally look like this. If that's too easy for you, you can start making them a little bit more difficult by focusing on the one leg variation. If you can't totally get into the one leg variation right now immediately, you can sort of cheat a little bit. It's not cheating, it's just a different variation of the exercise where you're focusing all your energy in this front part. Maybe you're coming down a lot, but you're not all the way down. And you can have your knee bent if you need to help you get into this position because you're focusing on what's happening here in the upper part of the leg. If your situation is that you want to work on the bottom part of the position, you can sort of lift this leg a little bit behind you. You can hold on to something for balance and slowly come down as much as you can and then come back up. Those are kind of ugly ways to do it, but what I want to encourage you to do is experiment with ugly positions. They're not super pretty so that everybody on Instagram is doing them, but is the potentially the version of the exercise that you need in order to make progress in the thing that you're doing, right? So what we talked about already is trying to get into a nice squat. If two legs is too easy for you, and start making it more difficult for yourself. The easiest way to make it easy without trying a whole bunch of stuff is actually to probably go to the gym and use a machine, right? That way you can just stay doing this and then you can change the weights. But if you want to stick with body weight, you got to be a little bit more creative and you got to try a couple of different things. So if two legs is not enough tension, then we can do a bunch of things to make one leg a little bit easier so that you can get stronger on one leg. I'm going to pretend that this lamp is a door frame, okay? Like this door frame right here, I'm going to pretend that this lamp is a door frame. It's going to look a little bit silly, but bear with me. What you're able to do, just because you have something stable to hold on to, is you can grab that door frame, you can use it to help you balance, because that's one big part of doing it with one leg, and you can hold yourself
if you get to a point where you're like, oh, I'm stuck, I can't go anymore, I'm about to fall. If you feel safe, if you feel stable, it'll be easier for you to get back into that position and try and experiment a little bit more. And when you have something to hold on to, you can pull against it to help you get in and out of that position. Okay? You might have bad ankle flexibility, which the pistol squat requires a lot of. The one leg squat requires a lot of. You might have a little bit of pain in the knee that is a little bit difficult. Having something to hold on to helps you control and slow down the motion so that you can experiment and figure out what is actually bothering you, what's holding you back from getting into a deeper squat position. What else we got? The squat is the big one. If you want really nice looking legs in general, calf raises are good. Calf raises are good, and we want to do more of them in general because the calf muscle does a really good job of pumping blood into your heart. And so, in general, having nice strong calves and moving well is really good for your health. And it's free. What are other leg exercises? We have the opposite of the calves. The calves' job is to flex your toes down. All right, that's what they do. The opposite of that is your tibialis. This muscle running front outside of your leg. They can also look really cool if that's something you're interested in. And to train those, you gotta do the opposite. You gotta lift your toes up into the sky. This is called the tibialis raise. This is called the tibialis. There's a couple of ways to do that. You can stick your butt against the wall, have your feet out in front of you, and then you can lift your toes up off the ground. It should be pretty difficult. The lower you are, the more intense it will be. I'm not going to demonstrate because my floor is a little slippery. I don't want to go flying out right now and land on my butt. That would not be a nice way to end this. And luckily, this is a two-leg exercise. You can, if you're really, really strong, which would be insanely strong, you can do this on one leg as well and go deep. This gets really intense. If you can do 10 reps on one leg, leaning back hard, it's going to be very impressive. So we've covered the fronts. We've talked about calf raises. If calf raises get too easy for you, then you can do them on one leg. You can focus on bent knee calf raises. So there's two main muscles in your calf. There's this big one that you notice, and there's like a hidden one kind of underneath it. And in the main calf raises that we do, you really focus on that big one that's obvious. But if you bend your knee forward so that your knee is like this and you're flexing at your ankle and you do calf raises, the deeper one, the more hidden one, also gets worked. Experiment with this and figure out if you like that. I'm showing you this position because the camera is that way so you can see what my knee is doing. I would actually recommend you do them like this in front of the wall, and once you try them, you'll notice that it's a totally different part of your calf that's getting worked. It feels like it's here versus here. All right. So we did calves, we did tibialis, we did some squats. The main other muscle group that we can talk about for the legs are the hamstrings. The hamstrings are huge. They're crazy, and this applies to everybody who we were stretching with earlier. Because really strong hamstrings allow you to be flexible. All right. A lot of the time, lack of flexibility is your body going, you can't do this. This is way too hard. What is this crazy thing that you're trying to do? If you're very strong in your hamstrings, your body has a tendency to trust you are going to be fine because it knows you're strong enough to get out of a position. It knows you're strong enough and you're capable enough to do the thing that you're trying to do ish, right? That's the general vibe that you're sending to your brain. And so training the hamstrings is really good. How do you do that at home? Well, the most straightforward way, especially if you're into Pilates and you're really comfortable doing stuff on the floor or yoga, is something called it's a hamstring curl, right? If you go to the gym, it's a hamstring curl machine. So what we're trying to do is
get into a nice strong position. This is a nice plank, flexing the glutes, flexing the core, staying strong, and then bring the heels in and extending. If that's too easy for you, you can try it with one leg, and it suddenly gets much harder. And those will help strengthen your hamstrings. That, I think, is pretty much all the main muscles in your legs, and your whole body has to stay tight and in control in order for your legs to actually move. So it's a bit of a whole body experience with focus and emphasis on the legs. I hope that helps. I hope you got some cool, useful things to work on. And cool. All right. I think with that, we are done. Checking to see if there's anything else I need to look at. And I think I have responded to everything. All right. In that case, thank you for staying on for as long as you have, everybody. It's been 80 minutes since we started. I hope you had fun doing the side splits. I hope you got some good information on the tail end here, talking about leg exercises, talking about posture, talking about undoing some of the things that normal life causes for us these days. And with that, I hope you learned something. I hope you hit follow. I hope you hit subscribe. We do this every single day to practice consistency, because at the end of the day, consistency is exactly what you need, right? Like this is sort of an unexpected perfect alignment with talking about posture. A lot of posture is formed based on what you're doing every day and how your body is relaxing into whatever position you're in. If you want to undo that natural thing that your body is doing, you got to be very consistent. You got to train it very consistently. I'm just using the word consistent a lot. I haven't thought about the sentence, so now I'm just rambling a little bit. Bear with me. Consistency is hard. It is really, really hard. It's everybody's worst nightmare, right? Like everybody has goals. Everybody wants to achieve their goals, and the thing most people are struggling with is being consistent long enough for their goals to start showing up. Maybe give hints of success, right? And hopefully, when you're here with me, practicing side splits, doing stretching, we can make the vibes good, make it a little bit easier for you to do hard things because you feel good about the thing that you're doing. All right, that's what we're here for. I hope you like it. I hope you like the vision and want to stick around for it. That's it for me. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great, wonderful evening. Sleep well, get lots of rest. Come back tomorrow fully rested. It'll make your stretches better, I promise. And with that, I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody. Follow, subscribe. Bye. Goddess, I'll see you tomorrow. Good night, Lulu. Good now, says thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, goodbye. Same for YouTube. We have a whole bunch of people on. If you guys have no idea why I'm talking to people and answering questions that don't make any sense, that is because I'm running a TikTok and a YouTube at the same time. Most of my TikTok people know about this, but I think we might have a couple of people who are not regulars here on YouTube. I do my best to try and read the comment that I'm responding to before I respond to it, but if there's any point where you're like, what are you talking about? Throw it in the chat, let me know. Feel free to ask questions. I tried my best to answer Tanish Q's questions, but I feel like I might have been a little late on that one, and they might have left. But that's it. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. I hope you worked out some stretches and made some progress. I hope to see you tomorrow because we'll be here same time. Goodbye.